A fantastic day to one and all. Children, I hope you all are doing really good. Today we are going to venture into a new lesson. The name of the lesson is the living organisms and characteristics and habitats. What's the name of the lesson? The living organisms. We are going to ponder on the characteristics and its habitats. Now let's see what does the beautiful introduction have to tell us. Biodiversity is a term used to describe the whole biological diversity present in the ecosystem and the interactions among them. It includes all the living organisms such as plants, animals, human beings, and microorganisms. There is a variety of communities of organisms that live in particular regions. There are a number of different species living in a specific geographical area. Every organism has a place to live in nature and a functional role in that place. We need to understand how organisms interact with each other and with their physical environment. In this chapter, we will examine the ways in which organisms use their environment, relate to each other, and assemble into communities or ecosystems. Each organism has its own niche for survival. A habitat is the actual location in the environment where an organism lives and consists of all the physical and biological resources available to a species. Now let's begin with the biomes and interdependence between the biotic and abiotic world. Got it? That seems to be quite interesting, isn't it? Now, living organisms depend upon each other as well as the abiotic world for their survival. They cannot survive in isolation, can they? Think about us too. Can we survive in isolation? Definitely not. The earth experiences a variety of climatic conditions which make it suitable for survival of different species. The kind of organisms living in a given region will depend upon the conditions prevailing there. The biodiversity of a region on Earth depends upon the heat, temperature, rainfall, and humidity present in the atmosphere. Based on these factors, the world has been grouped into different biomes. Okay, a biome is a region of Earth's surface and the particular combination of climate, plants and animals that are found in it. It includes habitats of various types of organisms dwelling in that region. Now, there are 5 biomes. Which are the 5 biomes? The forest, desert, aquatic, grassland and tundra. We shall discuss each in detail. You can imagine how great this discussion is going to be with. Okay, be with each of you. So let's begin. Are we ready? Say yes, I am ready. It's the forest biome. Forests cover a third of the Earth's land. The trees form the major features of the forest biome. The land area covered mostly by tree and plant form a forest. A vast variety of plants and animals are seen in a forest. Depending on the kind of vegetation, forests can be classified into tropical rainforest, temperate and taiga or boreal forest. Now let's see the tropical forest. The climate in a tropical forest is hot and it receives heavy rainfall. The heavy rainfall causes flooding, soil erosion, and rapid leaching of nutrients from the soil. Leaching is when the minerals and organic nutrients of the soil are washed out of the soil by what? by rainfall. Isn't it lovely? Now let's see this activity. Look at this picture carefully and answer this question. Spot and name the biotic and abiotic components in the picture. Second one, identify the producers and consumers. That's the herbivore, carnivore and omnivore in it. Using the animals in the picture, create a food chain. Identify the organisms that are aerial, arboreal or live on land. Do any of these animals you see in the picture live in burrow? Comment how these animals are adapted to their habitat. Now this is the activity that you are going to do it on your own, and then you can send it to me or you can share with me, and then we are going to ponder about it together, or we will get together and have a discussion in the live lecture. Okay? Now, plants grow rapidly and use the organic material left from decomposing plants and animals. As a result, soil in tropical rainforest is nutrient deficient. The tropical rainforest is very thick and not much sunlight is able to penetrate the forest floor. However, the plants at the top of the rainforest get about 12 hours of intense sunlight every day throughout the year. In a rainforest, a large number of trees such as mangroves have special supporting roots like the stilt roots. These roots come out from the trunk and grow downwards into the soil to hold up plants in the shallow soil. Due to the thick canopy of large trees, small plants climb on other trees to receive sunlight. A large number of creepers and climbers grow in a rainforest. The plants in a rainforest have a smooth bark and smooth leaves. Rain falling on these forests drips down from the leaves and trickles down the tree trunks to the ground. The plants have shallow roots to absorb nutrients from the top level of the soil. Okay? A rainforest has many epiphytes such as epiphytic orchids. Epiphytes are plants that live on other plants, and instead of collecting water with roots, they obtain water and minerals from rain and from debris that collects on the supporting plants through hair on their leaves. Now see, these are the layers of tropical rainforest. What we have over here? We have the shrub level and the canopy. This is the canopy and these are the emergence. Okay, these are the layers of the tropical rainforest, and these are the beautiful tropical rainforest. Children, please surf the net for this. It's really, really beautiful, and nature is so lovely. A wild orchid plant, an epiphyte. This is also beautiful, isn't it? Look at the flowers. Okay. Now further, rainforests are tremendously rich in animal life. Rainforests are populated with insects like butterflies, arachnids like spiders, reptiles like snakes, amphibians like frogs, birds like parrots, and mammals like sloths. Okay, now let's see the taiga forest, and then we will go to this do you know and the activity. All right. Also, taiga forest, also known as boreal forest. The taiga forest is dominated by conifers. Now what is conifers? Cone bearing plants, most of which are evergreen, that is, bear leaves throughout the year. The taiga has cool winters and warm summers. Some parts of the taiga forest have a permanently frozen sub-layer of soil called permafrost. Drainage is poor due to the permafrost or due to the layers of rocks just below the soil surface. The soil is acidic and mineral deficient. It is covered by a deep layer of partially decomposed conifer needles. Most trees in a taiga forest have needle-like leaves, which prevents water loss in freezing weather and sheds snow more easily than broadleaves. Waxy coating on the leaves prevent evaporation. The leaves are dark in color, allowing more solar heat to be absorbed. Coniferous trees have branches that droop downward to help shed excess snow and keep the branches from breaking. Now, these are also the lovely taiga forest. Children, please surf the net for the same. Now, this is a pineapple. Ooh, I just love gorging on pineapples. All right. Now, bromeliads are found most exclusively in American continent. Some grow in the ground like pineapples, but most species grow on the branches of trees. Now I didn't know that. That's so interesting. Their leaves form a vase or tank that holds water. Small roots anchor plants to supporting branches, and their broad leaf bases form a water holding tank or cup. The tank's capacity can be up to 55 liters. Goodness gracious! The tanks support a thriving ecosystem of bacteria, protozoa, tiny crustaceans, mosquitoes, dragonfly larvae, bird tadpoles, salamanders, and frogs. Goodness me! What a massive information, isn't it? Extensive. Now let's go to the activity to visit a local park. Now you can visit currently the virtual local park. Okay, take a bag in which you can bring back leaf specimens. Sorry, you can bring back leaf specimens. Collect as many different leaf types representing distinct species as you can. Make a list of the different kinds of leaves that you collected. If you do not know the names of each plant, take the help of books and the internet to identify each plant. The discovery will help you understand that an ecosystem is composed of many different organisms. Find out which is the most commonly growing species of plant in the area around your school. Bring back a single leaf of that species. Compare the leaf you have collected with the ones collected by your classmates. You will notice that even though all the leaves come from the same species of plant, all the leaves look somewhat different. This will help you understand that there is diversity even within each species. Now that's what you're going to do, and then you're going to see how diverse they are. And let me tell you, you're going to enjoy it. Okay. Now, some animals that live in the coniferous forests are hawks, owls, lynxes. Okay, lynx is this here in figure 8.6. Snowshoe rabbits and wolverine. Most of the animals migrate on the onset of winters. Now let's go further to the temperate forest. Okay? The temperate deciduous forest biome has 4 seasons, namely winter, spring, summer, and autumn. Animals and plants have special adaptations to cope with these yearly changes. Adaptation means the ways by which plants and animals change to suit the conditions in which they live. The term deciduous means that the leaves on these trees change color in autumn, fall off in winter and grow back again in spring. Did you get it, children? Very good. In winters, these forests get snow and hail, so deciduous plants lose their leaves to conserve water. Deciduous trees have broad leaves to capture energy from the sun to prepare food by photosynthesis. Some of the food is used for growth and some is stored for future use. These plants store food in the roots for winter when the trees shed their leaves and hence cannot make food by photosynthesis. Some examples of deciduous trees are black walnut, red maple, poplar, birch and willow. Animals living in these forests adjust to cold winters by hibernating or migrating. During winter, leaves fall off the trees. Did you get it? Leaving animals with less covers to hide themselves from predators. Some of the animals found here are black bear and raccoon. It's beautiful, isn't it? Raccoon looks lovely. Okay? Wild boar, turkey and rat snake. Now this is how rather the deciduous forests look in autumn and this is how they look in winter. What a lovely sight, isn't it, children? Surf the net and you will, as you venture, let me assure you that you're going to have a great time, a lovely time. Okay, now let's go further. Okay, here we have the activity 3. That's the forest, the location, temperature, rainfall, plants and animals. Now it's about the tropical forest, the temperate forest and the taiga forest. Now you are going to do research and sort it out on your own. Okay, great. Now let's proceed further to the grassland biome. Grasslands are big open spaces in which the vegetation is dominated by a nearly continuous cover of grasses. There are a few trees and herbs in a grassland. The soil in a grassland is very fertile. In North America, the grasslands are called prairies. Because of the open landscape and widely spread trees, grasslands are home to large herds of grazing mammals such as zebras and bisons. There is a rainy season as well as a season of drought every year. Many animals who live here are active only during the rainy season. Grasslands are also the natural habitats of deer, giraffe, elephants, lions, tigers, hyenas and ostriches. That's great. Now look at these herds of grazing zebras. Aren't they lovely? And this is a grassland deer. You watch a lot of geographical channel, children, okay? It's interesting and surf the net. Okay. Now, do you know, let's see, I'm excited to know what this do you know has for us. Bamboo is the world's largest grass. Can you believe it? And is native to many parts of the world. It is grown throughout the tropics and is widely used as a source of food as well as for construction and weaving. It has great strength and is used as scaffolding to build skyscrapers. Children, I have eaten bamboo shoots and it's a lovely delicacy, let me tell you. But there is a big procedure to eat it. But let me tell you, you will really enjoy it. Try sometime eating bamboo shoots. Okay, if you have not ventured till it. It's really, really yummy. And my mom and my grandmom used to make lovely dish with bamboo shoots. Now we proceed further to the desert biome. Deserts are regions On the Earth's surface, which have extreme heat and dryness, they get very little or no rainfall. The days in the desert are hot, while the nights are very cold. There are two major types of deserts, that's the hot deserts and the cold deserts. Sahara in the North Africa and Thar in India are examples of deserts. Plants like cactus and thorny shrubs grow here. Many kinds of insects, spiders, reptiles, birds, and mammals are found in the desert. Rattlesnakes, camels, and Gila monsters are some of the animals found in a desert. Plants living in deserts are called xerophytes. Desert plants differ in the ways they adapt themselves to the hot and dry environment. Some desert plants have a short life cycle. When it rains, the plants sprout quickly, flower, and then die. Their seeds lie dormant in the soil until the next rain enables them to germinate and bloom. Most desert plants grow far apart and their roots extend out so that each plant can get water and minerals from a large area. Other desert plants have roots that extend deep into the ground to obtain water. When it rains, cacti and these other succulent, that's juicy plants, take up as much water as possible and store it in their leaves and stems, which will provide the water they need during the dry months. Their waxy leaves and stems also decrease the rate of water loss throughout transpiration. Other plants survive by shedding their leaves in dry periods to reduce water loss. Animals living in deserts are called xerocles. Animals that live in the hot desert show many adaptation to survive heat as well as scarcity of food and water. Many small animals hide under rocks or dig burrows underground and stay there during the day to escape the heat and the sun. The sun is really scorching. Huh? Imagine that. Okay, it's pretty hot. Some of them are the dormant, inactive in summer. Large desert animals try to stay in the shady areas during the day. They obtain water from the food they eat and from the few water holes that exist in a desert. The camel stores its food as fat in large humps on its back. The stored fat is broken down to help the camel survive long period without food and water. Many animals are nocturnal, that is, they sleep during the hot day and only come out at night to eat and hunt. Some animals rarely spend any time above the ground. Spade-foot toads spend 9 months of every year underground. Can you imagine that? 9 months of year underground. And just surf the net, children, and see what is a spade-foot toad. Okay, toads. I mean spade-foot toads too. Some of these animals store water in their bodies and preserve it for future use. Some animals are thick-skinned and have scales on their body to prevent water loss. Sweat glands are absent or reduced in some animals. So now see, this is a Gila monster. Such a lot of effort. Can you believe, how much of, what you can say, thinking God must have done to create this beautiful world, isn't it? Long eyelashes. Now these are adaptations in a camel, that is the long eyelashes keep sand out of camel's eyes. Thick eyebrows shield the eyes from the desert sun. Okay, so this is a figure here. Camel's nostrils can close so that sand doesn't get into the nose. Look at that. Then feet are wide and padded so that it can walk on sand more easily without sinking into it. Okay, now some animals excrete concentrated urine to conserve body water. Their feet are padded or have thick soles which enables them to walk on hot sand. The nostrils are reduced and have valves and hairs to prevent sand from entering the nose. Eyelids are transparent and cover the eyes to protect them from sand. Deer, foxes, wolves, and other animals may visit a desert after a rainfall in search of food. Butterflies and bees emerge from their pupa stage to feed on the flowers that bloom. The insects breathe quickly so that the next generation reaches the pupa stage before the desert dries up. Some animals never drink but get their water from the seeds and plants. Such a great lot of information, isn't it? That's why I always believe in this, the more you read, the more you'll grow. The more you'll grow, more places you'll go. So do a lot of reading, children. Surf the net, search for this instead of wasting time, watching soaps and movies and all that. It would be great if you could invest your time in reading. Now, Tundra biome. Tundra regions lie around the North Pole. Temperatures during the Arctic winter can fall to minus 51 degrees centigrade. It must be freezing there. The average temperature of the warmest month is between 10 degrees centigrade and 0 degrees centigrade. The soil in the tundra regions is often frozen. Water is unavailable during most of the year. Animals that live here adapt to the cold winters and raise their young ones quickly in the very short and cool summers. It has long days during the summer season, sometimes with 24 hours of daylight and long nights during the winter. There is little diversity of species here. The vegetation here is dominated by mosses, grasses, and lichens. Snowy owl, tundra swan, Arctic fox, and polar bear are found in the tundra region. Now, tundra plants are small, usually less than 12 inches tall, and low growing due to the lack of nutrients as the roots cannot penetrate the permafrost. These plants are dark in color. This helps them absorb solar heat. Some plants are covered with hair which helps them keep warm, while others grow in clumps to protect one another from the wind and cold. Now see, these are the adaptations in an Arctic fox. Okay, now this is what you're going to ponder on and then you will understand. The feet are funny, which helps them keep from skipping on these ice. Short legs that keep them close to the ground. Thick fur and lovely bushy tail, and long and a lovely bushy tail that they use to wrap around their body at night for warmth, and small eyes, ears and nose for protection against the cold. It looks beautiful, isn't it, the Arctic fox? Okay, the tundra swans migrate to warmer regions. Now let's look at this lovely yak which has large chest capacity to inhale maximum oxygen. Now this is the thick coat of fur to protect from cold. Okay, this is a thick coat of fur to protect from cold. Now let's move further to the adaptation shown by the animals in mountain habitat. Animals that live in mountains have thick skin of fur to protect from the cold. They have thick and strong limbs that help them in climbing rocky mountains. Now, yaks are often seen in mountains, okay, children? Now, let's move further to the aquatic biome. Living organisms also live in water bodies. There are two types of water bodies on the Earth's surface. That is the freshwater bodies like rivers, lakes and ponds, and saltwater bodies like the oceans. The organisms that live in the two types of water bodies are also different. Plants living in water are called hydrophytes. They can be free floating or submerged in water. Since there is abundance of water, roots of aquatic plants are small and poorly developed. In Ulfia and Salvinia, roots are absent, while Hydrilla has poor developed roots. Stem is long, slender, weak, spongy, and flexible. This reduces its weight and helps the plant to remain afloat, like in Nymphia and Nulambo. Submerged plants do not have a strong water transport system in their stems. They absorb water, nutrients, and dissolve gases directly through the leaves from the water. Some plants have leaves that float on top of the water to absorb maximum sunlight. Leaves of floating hydrophytes are flat, broad, and covered with a waxy coat, such as lemna. Submerged plants have thin finger-like leaves which offer less resistance when subjected to water currents. Some examples of these are Hydrilla and Vallisneria. In some plants like water hyacinth, the base of the leaf stalk is spongy. It contains a lot of air trapped in them, helping it to remain afloat. Now, these are the Nulambos, that's the Lemna, this is the Vallisneria, and these are water hyacinths. Okay, see, they have swollen, spongy leaves, all right? But you surf the net and do a thorough research on them. Okay, next we come to Rachel Lewis Carson, who was born on 1907 and lived up to 1964. Rachel Lewis Carson, an American marine biologist and nature writer, is said to have brought about the global environmental movement. As a child, Carson spent many hours learning about ponds, fields, and forests from her mother. She also spent a lot of time exploring around the farm she grew up in. She was an avid reader and talented writer from a very young age. She worked as a biologist in the US Bureau of Fisheries. She wrote 3 books about marine life, the sea around us, the edge of the sea, and under the sea wind. Carson went on to study conservation and the environmental problems caused by synthetic pesticides. Her book, Silent Spring in 1962, made people recognize environmental concerns and led to the ban on DDT and other pesticides in the United States of America. Animals living in water are called hydroculus. Aquatic animals show adaptation which help them to survive in water. These animals have boat-shaped bodies. Such a shape is termed as streamlined. This shape reduces resistance while swimming in water. Fishes and some other creatures show special appendages called fins that help in swimming. Some show webbed feet like the frog. In the ducks, the feet is like the paddle and webbed, helping them to swim in water. Aquatic animals have air-filled organs and bladders that make them lighter and help them to remain afloat. The body is covered with a waxy layer of scales to protect them from decaying. Okay, to To breathe dissolved oxygen, fishes have special respiratory organs called gills, which help in exchanging gases in water. Some animals like frog breathe through their moist skin. A large variety of plants and animals live in the oceans and seas. Starfish, crabs, jellyfish, sea anemones and dolphins are some of the creatures found in the marine habitat. See, these are the ducks with the web feet. These are the gills of a fish. And these are the lovely dolphins. Okay? Watch the movie Free Willy. It's on dolphins only and you'll enjoy it. Okay, now we almost come to the end of the lesson. Before we wind up, let's see the points to remember. The actual location in the environment where an organism lives is its habitat. Biomes are various regions of our planet which can best be distinguished by their climate, fauna and flora. There are 5 biomes, which are they? Forest, desert, aquatic, grassland and tundra. The climate in a tropical rainforest is hot and it gets heavy rainfall. Most trees in a coniferous forest have needle-like leaves. The leaves of deciduous tree change color in autumn, fall off in winter and grow back again in spring. Grasslands are big open spaces in which the vegetation is dominated by a nearly continuous cover of grasses. Deserts have extreme climatic conditions such as extreme heat, cold and dryness. Tundra regions lie around the North Pole. Now let's see the important definitions. Habitat. What is a habitat? The natural environment of an animal or planet. What is biodiversity? A term used to describe the whole biological diversity. That is, all living things, plants, animals and microorganisms and all the interactions with each other and their environment. What is biome? A region of the Earth's surface and the particular combination of climate, plants and animals that are found on it. What is permafrost? The permanently frozen underlying layer of soil. So children, I hope you had a lovely time, okay, learning and thinking and pondering on the living organisms. We learned today about the characteristics and their habitat. Happy learning. Have a nice day.